What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. Usually we do our matchup preview on Wednesdays, but we have no game this week, so no game to preview. So I'm going to give you kind of a midseason evaluation on the state of the Buckeyes and how we're feeling about some specific positions, especially on the offensive line specifically, and the run game. And then we'll talk about the defense and how this is the best defense in the country. And we'll talk about some issues on special teams, because who doesn't love that? Anyway, we'll talk. I've got some MVPs for you on offense and defense. And so hit me up. Give me your MVPs. You can give me as many as you want. Give me 3 on offense and defense both. So go crazy. I don't care. Anyway, coming to you from the jungles of Mexico, there are very large mosquitoes here. So if you're coming down here, I would bring a large fly swatter or your own bug zapper, whatever. Anyway, let's get it going here. So our midseason report, who's good, who's bad? Well, nobody's bad. They wouldn't be on the team. But who's emerging, what needs fixed. So let's talk about the bye week here. The Buckeyes head in at 7-0, ranked number 1 in the country after that 34-0 shutout of the Badgers up in Madtown. Third shutout of the year, and 144 total yards allowed, 49 passing yards allowed, just a dominant defense. I think it's safe to say this is even better than last year's defense. But the message from Ryan Day and the program is even though they won by 30+, they're still chasing perfection. And I think this is one of the most complete teams of Ryan Day's coaching tenure at Ohio State. But they're not perfect. So let's get into the run game. It's efficient, I guess, kind of, but not explosive. I would say, along with the rest of the offense, Julian Sayin's development is ahead of schedule, but the run blocking and the balance is still lagging behind that. Sayin, we'll talk about him first. Good news, let's do rainbows and sunshine first, and then we'll do the garbage later. So Julian Sayin, 78.4% completion percentage, highest in Power 5 football. Are we still calling it Power 5? There's only 4 power conferences. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, he has 1,479 yards, 15 TDs, 3 picks, 6 straight games completing 70% or more completions, and multiple TDs, along with the 70% completion rate. Only Burrow and Bo Nix have matched that in the last 25 years. So Julian Sayin, obviously being a younger guy, just a second-year guy, quiet leader, but his game is pretty tight. He's a quick processor. He knows what he sees, and he trusts his arm. He's got that poise and composure. Everybody's talked about it, thus far. He does not panic, and there's no wasted motion. He's out there throwing darts. So now let's talk about some of the not so great side of this offense. The run game issues. 106 yards on 37 carries versus Illinois. They looked a little better versus Wisconsin, but still, did not get up over 100 yards as a team. And they really don't have any explosive runs. It's rare. So the rotation is kind of up in the air, according to Ryan Day this week. He said that they're not ready to set a hierarchy at the running back position yet. So you got Bo Jackson. He's averaging 7.0 yards per carry. C.J. Donaldson, he has the 6 TDs. So, he's your goal line back, your short yardage back. And now you got Isaiah West, the true freshman, emerging. So the big question here is, who is the true RB1? I mean, Isaiah West led the team in carries last week. He had one more than Bo. So, and he looks like he's making people miss, We talked about it on the TBC Weekly, which was on Tuesday night. He forces a lot of missed tackles, Isaiah West does, and he's got that speed. Once he hits that second level, he can make you pay. But Isaiah West's debut, he had the highest PFF grade among the Ohio State running backs versus Wisconsin. He has that downhill burst and that balance. He can not just run through a tackle, but he can maintain his balance and keep trucking. But now, that right side of the offensive line we got to talk about, because this is especially right guard. That's really hindering this running game. I put 50% of it on the right side of the O-line and 50% on the running backs. But Ryan Day's not sugarcoating it. He said the right guard spot and run game are under review. He said we're looking at everything. So whatever. So during this week, the staff is they're in full audit mode. They're looking at everything. So it's very clear that things need to be maybe a little shake-up there at right guard. You got Tegra Shabola, started all last year. He did have to come out due to injury occasionally, especially late in the year. But now you got Josh Padilla emerging. We thought it would have been Ethan Onianwa. Josh Padilla has surpassed him already. Shabola's started 23 straight games, including the playoffs last year. But this season he's been just really inconsistent. That's been his problem, since he got here. He allowed 8 pressures and 4 penalties thus far through 7 games. Both those he leads the team, and it's not something you want to lead the team in right there. So among the starting linemen, anyways, his PFF grade versus Wisconsin was under 50. That's pathetic. That's out of 100, folks. He had a false start, allowed 2 pressures, so he's not getting better either. That's the problem. It's not an effort issue. It's just recognizing who to block and using the proper technique when he does apply that block. Now, Josh Padilla, he's quietly earning the trust in these rotational reps. He had 26 snaps against Wisconsin, graded a 74 overall. That's really good. He had an 82.1 pass blocking grade. That was second highest on the linemen. He's more poised, more assignment sound in limited action. Yeah, I think he's also more athletic. He's slightly smaller, so he can move a little bit faster, probably a little quicker than Tegra. But the staff is intrigued. Ryan Day confirmed this week at the Champions meeting that they're doing a full first half grading review that will determine who starts against Penn State in a week and a half. So translation, a changing of the guard, right guard exactly, could be coming if Padilla continues to grade out higher and higher. Now, the running game, Buckeyes were held under 100 yards, like I mentioned, in Madison, but and just 2.7 yards per carry on average. That's not great. So despite leading comfortably all day, and the passing game was the focus of the offense anyway, but Ryan Day called it a technical issue, or a technique issue, not a scheme issue. They missed some IDing who to block again, some bad leverage, so again the technique, and then linemen abandoning, losing their footwork in the third quarter. And Ryan Day pointed out that we can't have defenders running free in the backfield. That's unacceptable. No shit. So looks like Bo Jackson and Isaiah West are separating from the pack with the burst and the downhill running. And Bo's shown his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, which is key. You need a guy that can play all 4 downs, whatever, not just 1 or 2, or go in there on 3rd and long, and he's catching a pass. So the issue with the run game is a precision problem. So they're going to continue that right guard rotation probably, but watch Padilla get more snaps or completely take that job from Tegra. What else here? Austin Sarabeld on the bright side, he's the most reliable lineman so far, which should be. He's your left tackle. So we'll see how things continue there. I don't have any worries about Sarabeld. Hopefully he stays healthy. Red zone execution, too many field goals and drives were set up by short fields, so Ryan Day wants more balance. And out of 12 personnel, the offense is averaging more per carry than 11 personnel. So probably going to see some more double tight ends. All All right, let's change gears to the defense here. The Silver Bullets are historic. They're just dominating on a generational level. Matt Patricia's defense is not just number one, but it's on pace to break modern records. Through 7 games, they've allowed 5.8 points per game. That's the lowest in college football since the year 2000. Total defense, 229 yards per game allowed. That's 4th in the country. Rushing defense, 84 yards per game allowed. That's 9th. Passing defense, 145 per game. That's 7th. Third down defense, 21.5% allowed conversions. That's 2nd in the country. And then touchdowns in the red zone, 18%. That's best in the country. So, yeah. All right. So the defense, what can you say? As long as everybody stays healthy, at least relatively healthy, I don't see how we give up any points, especially to Penn State. And from there, we have the cheaters at the end of the year. Those are the only 2, above average offenses that we're going to face. So now let's come back down to earth and take a ride on the special teams roller coaster. It's not a good one. So for every positive, there's a little step back. It seems like with this special teams unit, it doesn't matter if it's in the punting game, kicking game, whatever. Jaden Fielding, the kicker, usually reliable. He had 2 more field goals versus Wisconsin, but he missed one, and it was a sub 40-yarder. I think it was like 38 that he missed. You got to be able to bury 40. A college kicker should make anything inside the 45 or inside of 45 yards. Punt game, McGuire, he's averaging 38 yards per punt. That's pathetic. That's got to be one of the worst in the country. So that needs improvement. Kick return, punt return, Brandon Innes, he can be a spark when he makes the catch, but sometimes he'll let those punts just bounce around on the ground, and you're losing time, man. You're going to get lit up. You could fumble the ball. So Innes has to come up, make a clean catch. If you have to fair catch it all the time, I don't give a shit. But do not let it bounce, because you're losing yards, and those are the hitting yards that we always talk about. What else? Penalties. Oh yeah, penalties on punt. Ryan Day mentioned it in the post game when they allowed the fake punt by Wisconsin. He said that's completely unacceptable, and no kidding. Thanks, Coach. So let's move on to our MVPs and most improved players. Team MVPs, offense, Julian Sayin. His poise, his efficiency, he's quickly growing into an elite quarterback. Caleb Downs on defense, he's your tone setter. He's your coach on the field, gets everybody lined up, does all the communicating, so gets everybody where they should be. And then most improved, I've got a few for you. Most of them are on defense. Arvell Reese didn't play a ton last year. I think he had like maybe under 200 snaps on the season, but he's emerging as a serious force at linebacker. And when they do blitz him or he spies the quarterback, he's coming up with some violence and taking out that quarterback. That first run play in the Wisconsin game, quarterback started taking off up the middle, and Arvell was kind of spying him from behind the line of scrimmage, and he just ran up and smacked that dude, and you could hear the pop on the TV broadcast. So next up, Caden Curry. Caden Curry, quietly stacking up productive games. He brings the energy, never-ending motor. He's like the Energizer Bunny, just sets the tone and really is flashing what he could have been, if he were able to play sooner. Caden McDonald, so Caden and Caden, spelled differently though, become a consistent run stuffer in Patricia's 3-down fronts. So yeah, K-Mac is the Big Mac down in the middle. And then Josh Padilla. I think this is important because I think you're going to see increased snaps for him, or he completely just takes claim to that right guard spot. So final thoughts. The standard is the standard. It's one of my favorite quotes ever. means nothing to me. Kind of like it is what it is, things like that. All the things like that. But the Buckeye defense is generational. Sayin's development keeps raising the ceiling of this offense. And I think you got to, at this point, use the pass to set up the run. In years past, it's been vice versa, but I think you have to lean on the passing game because it's so efficient and so effective right now. Run game and the right side of the O-line, still the only question marks. And I'm a little concerned about Phillip Daniels. I didn't mention it earlier, but he had his worst game against Wisconsin too. So keep an eye out on him. But these issues are fixable, I think, with the running backs, settling on one and then fixing that right side of the O-line. So got time to heal up over this week and do some self-scouting and, really get this team ready for, 5 more games, 5 more weeks. So, and then head into the playoffs. So it's exactly where we want to be. Number one, and a complete team, not just one-sided, one side of the ball or another, but still with areas to improve. So, again, give me your MVPs, offense, defense, and maybe your most improved players too. Drop it in the comments or hit me up anytime. Joe@thebuckeyecast.com is my email address. And you know the deal. Call, text, email, all the shit. And we'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.